Hey there, this is Mike Goldenberg playing some Abzan Company Stoneforge, so this should be fun. This hand's fine. A Vizier or a Finale means is a turn 3 kill. So, I do a turn 1 Giver, turn 2 Druid. If I have Vizier or Finale or a way to get Vizier, then I have the Longbow as a win condition. Okay, up against something blue. Okay, so we have the quick win here. As long as our opponent doesn't interact with us, they put 2 cards on top. Our opponent can have Force of Negation, Lightning. A Lightning Bolt won't do it because of Druid. Any counter spell on the Druid will do it. Like a Mana Leak here will slow us down. Or a Spell Snare. A Bolt on our Giver here would be rough. Opponent not fetching probably tells me that they're a little light on lands here. I think we're just up against blue-white control. Nope. Bad timing. Jeskai. Blood Moon. That would be really awkward if I didn't have that, huh? Okay, even a Cryptic Command, unless they bounce the Druid, is not enough here. And they can't bounce the Druid because I can give it protection from blue. I think we have our opponent here because as long as if they counter the Finale, we're in trouble. I guess still. I think we're just in a decent spot. Opponent only has 1 blue mana. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just go for it. I can't play around Mana Leak, but I can play around X's too. Not that there is anything like that. Remand. Okay. Interesting little matchup here. Okay, opponent does represent Cryptic right now. I think I just have to try it here. I am playing around Mana Leak. Snap Remand would be a bit of a pain. Oops, sorry about that. Yep. Yeah, I think I just got to pass here. If our opponent's a breach deck, we might be in trouble. Otherwise, we have plenty of time to try to draw out of something. It's not exactly the card I want to see. So traditionally, Blue Moon decks with Thing in the Ice and Counter Magic are rough matchups for Druid decks because they attack on unique axes. Thing in the Ice is a really good board clear. This deck probably also runs Lightning Bolt, although my Giver is doing a good job holding that off. Okay, 1, 2, 3. You just win the game here. We did not win the game here, but maybe we can win it next turn now. Either way, having a finale in hand is pretty nice. I can grab something. I assume our opponent's just going to go off at instant speed here. I just need to cast 2 instants, and my board gets emptied. It's a little rough. Still playing around Mana Leak here. Okay. Blood Moon's actually doing some pretty good work against me here. Not being able to cast a Stoneforge Mystic, not being able to crack the Rising Canopy. Little things, but it's still enough at the moment to be kind of annoying. Bolting me. Just go ahead and ping you for 1 there. Yeah. This is a rough matchup. And of course, we naturally draw it when we needed it a bit ago. So no matter what I play, it needs to be a chump blocker. So I'll just play the Eternal Witness. If they counter this, I'm just dead. If they have a 3rd Cryptic, okay, that works too. Alright. Okay, going in, I think Sin Collector's pretty good. Tracker's probably good. Skooz is interesting here. Path Exile to kill their creature is pretty good. Knight of Autumn's intriguing to me. What am I less impressed with in this matchup? Don't care about Viridian Longbow. It's pretty weak. It's really the worst piece of the Stoneforge package. I definitely can trim some Viziers. They don't do too much here. Maybe just keep 1 in. Yeah, Skooz does seem good here. Tracker seems alright. Rather have Coco than Call. So I'm not really involved with the combo here at all. I'm really just trying to grind them, but I do have 1 Vizier just to kind of keep them honest there. This is a keep. So my plan is to keep them off tempo with the Thing in the Ice package with my Path Exiles. Kind of like how I attacked Is It Phoenix decks with the old Abzan Finks list, just to become a Eternal Witness Path loop deck while I try to outvalue them. Now, I highly doubt they're going to keep Blood Mooning against me, but people do some crazy things on MTGO. So just to be safe, I will fetch around that. Like, I think it's wrong to keep Blood Mooning against effectively one they've seen so far. I'm a 2-color deck. I probably have Bolt here. That's fine. Again, Devoted Druid isn't really a combo piece here. Devoted Druid is a ramp piece. So the Birds of Paradise is almost as useful to me at the moment as this Druid is. I'm not going to fetch because I want to draw more lands. And I think I just pass here and hold up the company. My other option was fetch for a basic plains, cast Ewit, buy back the fetch, and then play that for a basic forest, and then I'm pretty set for mana for the rest of the game. But I want to save my Ewit if I can. Okay, so what do I grab here? I can go Devoted Druid Vizier, untap, cast Coco, untap, cast Ewit, play Coco, and just get another value. I can grab a Stoneforge. I think I just want to go with the infinite plan, just to see how much. I think that gives me the best board presence. Okay. Any order. Rebuy that Coco, and this is why I chose to take the infinite life plan, just because I can try. That's why I run so many Ewits, to see if I can just loop this for a little bit and just try to win the game on the spot. And because I took out that longbow, I actually don't have the kill here. Alright, opponent concedes because they saw the longbow game 1, but I actually couldn't kill them unless I drew, unless I Coco'd into a ranger captain. Even then I sided out the ballista, so it was a little rough. I actually my whole plan was just to flood the board with dudes. I was going to grab a sword of fire and ice, equip it to the Vizier, swing for 4, and then have the Vizier be very strong, and then unequip it and probably put it on the Devoted Druid. So I was just going to overwhelm my opponent with a card advantage there. I still think it's correct to not have the longbow. I still think it's correct to not have the main board. So if I did have infinite, I couldn't win in that particular spot. The only way I could win was if I drew. No, there was no way I could win that particular spot. But I could. I was chaining together collected companies like it was my job, and that was pretty sweet. I like this hand. It's fine. No turn 1 play, but I do have a turn 2 Druid, which is a bit slow on the draw, but my opponent does not have a fast deck. So. Of note, I do not have a basic swamp in this list, so that Sin Collector might be a bit difficult to cast if they do try to Blood Moon me. Opponent bottoms with the Opt. I don't particularly like that. Yeah. It's fine. Oh no, I did actually have the kill if they didn't do anything there. I think what I want to do is Sin Collector here. This kind of forces a response from my opponent. Next turn, I get to either Finale for 2 or cast an Ewit. Okay. Ooh, that's pretty sweet, actually. Opponent's hand was not very good for the current situation. They had to wait a turn for it to really be lit up there. They do get to snap Opt here end turn. Yep. So that Abrade is still in the graveyard. I do want to get rid of that before I expose this Batter Skull. Opponent topped with that Opt, so I'm guessing it was not a land. Oh, Switzer woke up. She's taking a nap there. I'll block here. This also lets me Ewit rebuy the Sin Collector if I choose to. I don't really see any value with my opponent having a slightly smaller hand. I think it's still just better than the Druid. We'll see. I still want my opponent to snap Abrade my creatures, so then they can't snap Abrade my weapons. She sounds so miserable. I'm sorry about that. She hates waking up from a nap. Alright, there's the bolt. I'm just trying to outplay my opponent's removal. If I can cast more 2-for-1s in them. Alright. And I can put myself in an okay spot here. Yep, snap bolt. I still want them to get rid of the snap opt. Okay, so they're digging for. I think they realize I'm going to out 2-for-1 them here, and they're digging for an answer. Thing in the ice. I still don't have an answer for thing in the ice, which is a little unfortunate. Opponents get snap in 1 unknown. They did top the opt. I think the opt is probably thing in the ice here. They did need a threat. can finale for Shalai. I don't hate that. Still think I'm in an okay spot. My opponent is flooding pretty hard here. That a Braid in the graveyard made me consider grabbing Scavenging Ooze and then like swallowing that a Braid. I don't love this. But if this eats the Snap a Braid, my Batter Skill might be able to do something here. Okay. Yep. I'm fine with this so far. Opponent's got 0 cards in hand, and I keep drawing lands, which is a little rough. 2, 3, 4, 5. Batter Skull. Germ. Tap land. Go. Next turn I get to cast Sword of Fire and Ice and equip it. As long as my opponent doesn't draw into double cantrip, I'm fine here. Okay. If my opponent draws any spell, I get punished for shocking here. I think I have to though. Right? Because either way I want to be either casting this or cracking the clue. I think what I want to do is I can just equip the Batter Skull, but with my opponent tapped out, I think I'm actually better off doing this. Then I can crack that Horizon Canopy. Representing Gavany here, which is pretty neat. So if they really can't block with Thing in the Ice. I assume they had some spell there. That's why I chose to do that the way I did. If they draw the spell, they draw the spell. I have to fade it at some point, but we only get a little bit of value here is nice. Did opponent draw 2 lands in a row here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I cannot equip Batter Skull and attack and redeploy. Worst case scenario, they drew a bolt, they bolt me, and then I'm just dead, right? So if they didn't draw exactly a bolt, what should I do? No, I'm doing this wrong. If I can draw a Path to Exile, I can completely change what I do here. That is not a path. It's also not a path, okay? I'm representing lethal here, so my opponent doesn't actually have anything, they're just dead. Alright. One dead opponent. Well, I tried to play around everything the best I could to draw into the path as hard as I could, but I could not. But I have a puppy who no longer wants to be napping, so I will continue this league in a little bit. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. This is a rough matchup, but we're able to steal it. I'll show the deck list real quick here. It's right here. The card I like the least is the Viridian Longbow. I think that card is garbage, but it's nice when Stoneforge Mystic is able to be a combo piece. I don't know if the longbow is worth it. We did see in game 2, when I didn't have the longbow there, I still was able to generate a lot of value. I just wasn't able to win on the spot. Drawing longbow is terrible. Also, longbow is a finisher which our opponent can have in answer to, like we saw in game 1. I really do like the sideboard. I'm trying a Knight of Autumn main in this current meta. I think it's worth it against Burn being tier 1, Urza being tier 1, and Stoneforge Mystic decks being everywhere. I think the Knight of Autumn over the Tireless Tracker main is a concession to that at the moment. You'll notice I do lean more heavily on collected companies than something like Eldamri's Call. It's my choice. I like the grind more than the call. So that's the video. I hope you like it. I'll see you in the next one.